Hey, I just finished the interior of this tool chest, so I still am going to be putting a pretty big drawer here. This thing's, I think, 31 inches wide, and this is like 16 inches deep. So I'm probably gonna put a 12-inch deep drawer in that front with some full extension slides. But I did finish the interior, so I wanted to give that a little tour. It's painted with acrylic paint, so it's nothing crazy, really cheap, nice blue color. And there we go. Opening it up. So I've got both of my new concept saws on the lid. And then I wanted a shallower tray for my hand tools. So here we go. Almost everything in here is Veritas. So we've got my jointer. The fence for the jointer is here. My jack plane, my bevel up smoother. Here's my plow plane. This component is loose right now, but I've got a nice little case for all my components. Then here I've got my 3 saws. Here's my dovetail saw. These are both carcass saws. One is a rip, one's a crosscut. My skew rabbet plane with a depth stop in a little fitted holder I made. There's a carving mallet that I use for a lot of my chisel hitting. And then here's a little brass one from Veritas that's not very pretty anymore. And then here's my bench dog shoulder plane. And once I get that drawer in place, I'll have a little bit more organization for this loose stuff. But I've got my, my marking gauge and all screwdriver with multiple bits. Little screwdriver for adjusting the plane settings. Here's my dividers. I have about an 1/8 inch chisel. I think this is actually a 3 mil. And here's my mortise chisel and just my set of Stanley Sweethearts. And yeah, so this is the start of my tool chest. Got some more stuff that I want to fit in there. Here's my old one. It's been hollowed out for the most part, so I've got a square that needs to go in there, my mortise gauge, and router plane. But anyway, I got that jointer plane and I needed a little bit more room, so here it is. So here's one last glimpse, and yeah, a little bit more to come. I'm not sure of all that I'm going to put in the drawer, but I've got a lot of space, so lots is going to go in there. But yeah, I wanted to have a shallower tray so that it's just easier to retrieve the things that I use the most. You'll notice in the back here, I put a groove all the way down so that I could put some sort of inserts in. So these are actually just a insert where I can make more custom holders, and the shallow depth for the hand planes doesn't interfere with me storing chisels that are longer than I have capacity for. So anyway, thought it was a cool chest idea, and yeah, y'all enjoy and let me know if this inspired you for yours. It's a really different style than what you see out there. Joinery wise, I have a dado here with tenons that come all the way through. It's really hard to see with the paint, but that's somewhat the intention. Here I have a panel that is in a groove on 3 sides. You can see we've got this tongue and groove here, but that tongue and groove has a through tenon right here with a pin. So this is much sturdier than it looks as a front panel. The bottom corners are dovetailed, which you can see peeking out a little bit. And the back is made the same as the front. And yeah, so it's solid southern yellow pine. The top, I didn't bother to do any breadboard or anything fancy. It's just a pre-glued up pine panel from Home Depot that accepted the paint pretty well. It had voids and stuff that were pre-filled, but once the paint's on there, I couldn't tell, so I'm happy. Anyway, that's it. So I'll enjoy. Have a good night. Hey folks, welcome to my shop. Today I just wanted to show off kind of my in-construction toolbox. I'll probably do another video showing what I end up putting inside of it, but this is kind of like my version 3 toolbox. So beforehand I had more of like the typical small anarchist tool chest, traditional tool chest thing where it's got the dovetails on all 4 corners and it's a deep chest with the tills. For this one I kind of went more for like what Mike Pekovich has for his traveling tool chest, but it's a little bigger. It's got a huge drawer space here, so this is going to be a drawer, and I'm probably going to have some way of locking it in place when the chest is closed. But for the top, it's got a shallower tray. It's about a little more than 30 inches long, so I can fit full-size sand planes like this pointer plane in there comfortably. And but the cool thing is that the shallow top means that everything's kind of within reach. When it's on the floor, it's not so far down. Yeah, I'm going to show you how I did the joinery on this and just kind of give you a tour of what I'm doing. This is not fully refined. I've got some refinement to do on some of my stub tenons here, but let me show you how it's done. So if you look at the bottom here, I have 3 dovetails just on the bottom corners. We've got a panel here that has a dado, but the dado is relieved to have through tenons. I'm not sure if I'm going to wedge those in place. They don't really need it, so I'll probably just leave those alone. And that's on both sides. So we've got dovetails, dado with a through tenon, and then here it's kind of the same thing. It's a groove with a through tenon, so let me knock that apart. So here you can see we've got a mortise that goes all the way through, and then a through tenon that kind of gives this a little bit more strength, and I'm going to pin those in place. And then here beneath that, this middle piece also has a groove that holds a short tongue and groove that holds this board and the back board in place. The front and the back are designed the same way, except instead of having this opening here, the back has a floating panel that's trapped in a groove on all 4 sides. So this is going to be how the drawer front, or the drawer, knows where to stop. And then lastly, inside of the case, I've got this drawn out, but it's not cut out. But I have a chunk of the chest. I don't know what to call this. I'm just going to do a cutout here, where because I can't fit tall things like this mallet or my mortise chisel, these don't fit up here. So I'm going to have a 1-inch groove the whole length of the chest where I can insert things so that I can put my taller saws, like a coping saw, all the way down in, or probably not the mallet. The mallet will probably have to go in the drawer horizontally. But my chisel rack will be up top, but it will sit into a taller groove. I think this is also what Mike Pekovich did, but I'm not totally certain because I don't have his plans. I'm just kind of looking at his tool chest on Instagram and seeing, getting some ideas from it and doing it my way. So this is, yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do 2 drawers or top and bottom thinner drawers. I think I like the idea of one big drawer with a sliding divider on the inside so that I can have shallow trays and a deeper section so that, you know, bigger mallets, like this big boy, has a place to sit at full depth. Yeah, that's what I'm working with. So it's, let's see, it's about, I think 16 inches wide, yep, and 31 inches long when it's actually all the way together. And then the top tray I think is 7 inches, and the bottom is whatever is left over. So 6.5. So this whole thing I think is about 15 inches tall. And It's all Southern Yellow Pine. It's not single pieces. This is a 3-piece panel. These are 3-piece panels. So I think this is 3 boards that I bought from Home Depot. I was really selective about graining, so it's there's some pitch, but no knots. The bottom looks really nice. So yeah, and I'm probably going to paint it. But anyway, just wanted to give you kind of my precursory tour and show you my joinery before I do my assembly, because once it's assembled, I'm not going to be able to show you these cool tongue and groove with full tenons that are going to get pegged. Like, wanted you to see the inside before I glued it up. So thanks for checking it out, and I'll probably post some pictures on Instagram when I'm done. So have a good day.